All right, let's stay with ANC issues now. Reactions continue to come in following the ANC's Wednesday announcement of its National Executive Committee. In the latest round of criticism, the Workers and Socialist Party has expressed its dissatisfaction that Labour Union Cosatu has been completely excluded from the ANC's NEC. The party believes the ANC has effectively abandoned the Tripartite Alliance. Let's bring in the perspective now of Phemelo Motseokae, who represents the Workers and Socialist Party. Phemelo, thank you for making time for us this afternoon. Why do you believe, as the Workers and Socialist Party, that the exclusion of Cosatu leaders in the NEC means the ANC is abandoning the Tripartite Alliance?
Thank you so much, Clement. Yes, I think, just to be clear, the ANC has never really been a workers' party. If it really wasn't for this alliance that was formed back in the 90s, it wouldn't have the kind of black support that it has in the majority. And really, the Cosatu being excluded from the NEC isn't the first time it's happening. They haven't really been part of the leadership of the ANC. And, we've seen how the ANC has betrayed workers' rights over the years, and they were just sitting there doing nothing. But it's really not something new or something to be surprised of.
Yeah, it's not new because Dumo Dlamini, Zingiswalosi were once part of this NEC. How did that benefit the Labour Federation and workers in general? I'm asking that because for the longest time, Cosatu has complained that its proposals are never really properly considered by the ANC when it formulates and implements policy. So this concern persisted even when Cosatu leaders were in the NEC. So what's the difference?
The Cosatu is just aligning themselves with the wrong people in the first place. Their allies should be the working class. And, they seem to want to be asking the ANC to do the right thing by workers and, to produce policies that favor workers. And they haven't been. And why haven't they really just stood disciplined and decided that, we are not going to continue with the alliance because we formed this on the background that, it is a party that will hypothetically just provide, labor rights that satisfy the workers and actually deal with policies that, deal with the reality of the workers and not just hypothetical policies, neoliberal policies of the ANC that just favor the bosses. This has been happening, and they're just standing there, begging the ANC to listen. But ANC has consistently proved itself that they are not a workers' party. They are a bourgeoisie leadership. It was always a party of, the black elite. It was never about, the struggle of the people down there, and not just the national liberation question, but the question of women and education and health in the country.
Yeah. So when you're advocating that at least there must be some Cosatu leaders represented in the NEC, the question I suppose I was asking is what difference is it going to make? Because you seem to be decrying the fact that they've been excluded from the NEC. And I'm saying in the past, like with Dumo Dlamini, with Zingiswalosi, when they were part of the NEC, how did that change things and the realities, particularly for workers? It's not like the ANC suddenly now took Cosatu more seriously or gave them more of their time and also implemented what their proposals often are when it comes to policy.
No, our statement is clear. We are saying Cosatu must break away from the alliance. There's no need to tiptoe around the ANC anymore. I feel like both parties actually dropped all pretenses of what this alliance actually meant on paper, because the ANC not having them in the NEC just shows that they have never been a workers' party and they don't want to pretend anymore. So Cosatu must break away from the alliance and honor the workers, because we have seen the response of the workers, how they responded on May Day, how they booed the mine workers, booed Ramaphosa off stage. The working class have decided that ANC is not their party, and Cosatu must just do the right thing and break away from the alliance.
I spoke to Solima Paila this week at NASREC, the General Secretary of the SACP, and he said he chose not to stand for NEC election because he wants to speak from outside and be able to criticize where he wants to criticize without being bound by the structure and decisions that this NEC structure takes. Isn't that the same concern for Cosatu leaders when they are in the NEC, or do you think that when they are in there, there's just extra power, extra strength by this federation, or do you think it's best when they're outside because they're able to objectively criticize and take positions? And you can't argue, well, as the Cosatu president, you sit in the NEC, we collectively took the decision, so you have to just follow.
Your question is a bit unclear. But, if I'm hearing you right, I think Cosatu leadership, like I keep saying, that they have to realize what's been happening, and there is no remedy to this situation. There's no need to place hope on the ANC. The problem also is that, if Cosatu leadership was put there, would it really be truly a leadership that represents the rank and file of Cosatu? Because there's also that issue that comes up that there is no real representative in these unions. It's just people that are contesting for positions, but there's no real, dedicated leader or representative from the rank and file.
Yeah. So the alliance has been under strain for a while now. Workers are not happy with the ANC and even its leaders in Cyril Ramaphosa. They booed him before, even Gwede Mantashe. Do you get a sense that there's perhaps a link here between that unhappiness towards the ANC by Cosatu members and this exclusion of Cosatu leaders? And do you think we're talking here about the beginning of the end of this alliance, because the cracks are beginning to widen now?
Oh, definitely. Cosatu will either have to honor the resolution of their Congress, which, they resoluted that they have to break away from the alliance, because it hasn't been working for decades, and there's no need to, when the crises are getting so deep, the working class is losing patience, and it's seeing betrayals left, right, and center from government, from labor and labor unions, and people are unhappy. People are unhappy with what the ANC has been doing, and all of these factional battles that happened at the NEC. At the Congress, we saw like disruptive things happening there, just showing the political degeneracy of the entire NEC towards taking working class issues really seriously. We had commissions there that were empty. So what were they saying about issues of the working class when they themselves aren't even there to be represented in their so-called party? And the rank and file of the ANC itself. So the alliance itself is not working. And this NEC, everyone is just seeing a copy and paste from the previous years. And the ANC, this actually is a big move that they didn't put Cosatu in the NEC, because now they're effectively breaking from labor. Like, all pretenses are being broken, and in the next few years it's going to be interesting to see how does ANC now keep itself in power when they've been politicking so many people, and if they lose support from labor, what's going to happen?
And what do you think is going to happen? Let's look at 2024. The elections are coming up. No decision has been made by Cosatu yet on whether they will support and campaign for the African National Congress. Often Cosatu is the strong, big labor movement. When they throw their weight behind the ANC, there is some kind of benefit. So what do you think are some of the consequences of this strained relationship within the alliance for the ANC in 2024?
This conference does not necessarily rule out that the ANC might, win some votes, but we are definitely seeing a crumbling down in the membership. We know that, over 330,000 votes in the last local elections were lost. And, the momentum is definitely gearing there. We are going to probably see the ANC trying to make alliances left, right, and center with right-winged parties and those who sell out workers, and in the next, longer years, if things get really tough for the ANC and they're unable to keep their power politically, the only way will be to become a military dictatorship, really, if they are not going to listen to being recalled from government or, any of the democratic processes that they've been basically, breaking each and every one of them in the past few years.
All right. Thank you so much for making time for us. Phemelo Motseokae represents the Workers and Socialist Party.